So what happens when a tool that was built to set people free becomes a weapon that threatens to enslave them? In this explainer, we're doing a deep dive into the cybercrime thriller Compound 19 to see how one piece of code built with the absolute best intentions could end up bringing the entire world to its knees. It all starts with this really powerful, almost utopian idea. See, the creator in our story, he isn't in it for the money or the fame, not at all. His one goal is to use technology to give regular people real, true economic freedom. A pretty noble goal, right? But this is where that beautiful dream just completely corrupts. That same tool for freedom, it becomes a weapon. And the vision for a better world spirals into a global nightmare. So let's get into how it all went so wrong. Okay, to really understand how things went completely off the rails, we have to start at the very beginning, with the coder himself and the incredible utopian vision that was driving him. So this is Ayotunde Salako. Everyone calls him Ayo, and he is the heart of our story. But he is not your typical tech billionaire. He's not driven by money. His motivation is 100% ideological. He truly believes technology can break the stranglehold that big banks and governments have on global trade, and by extension, on people's lives. And this is his creation, Compound 19. It's a private crypto app, and it was designed to be the ultimate tool for free trade. I mean, look at these features. It's fast, it's completely private, and get this, it's impossible to trace. For Ayo, this was it. This was the silver bullet, the perfect way to bypass all the systems he saw as totally oppressive. And you know what? For a while, it worked exactly as he planned. The initial rollout of Compound 19 really seemed to prove his entire philosophy right. The app was being used for genuinely good things all around the world. And you can just see his dream becoming a reality. People were using the app to sell their goods without these insane fees, to get life-saving medical supplies into war zones, and even to help support pro-democracy protests. It was genuinely empowering the very people Ayo wanted to help. It was working. But here's the catch, right? The very features that made the app a tool for freedom also made it the perfect tool for criminals. And this is the exact moment where the whole story just takes a very dark turn. The dream doesn't just fade. It literally becomes a weapon. And right here, you can see the terrifying flip side of Ayo's creation. Every single noble use had a dark, twisted mirror image. The privacy that protected activists, it also shielded terrorists. The untraceable payments that empowered small merchants, they were absolutely perfect for moving cartel money, trafficking weapons, and worse. It was a complete and total perversion of his original vision. So once Ayo realizes what's happening, he tries to pull the plug. He tries to kill it. But it's too late. The code is already out in the wild, spreading across the dark web like a virus. It doesn't belong to him anymore. He's basically created a monster he can no longer control. And just when he thinks things can't possibly get any worse, the massive global problem he created suddenly becomes a terrifyingly personal one. The abstract nightmare is now his own reality. This timeline just shows you how incredibly fast everything spiraled out of control. It goes from this hopeful launch, to criminals taking it over, to his failed attempt to shut it down, and then boom, he's gone. He's been kidnapped by the very criminals who are using his technology. His captors? The Hyena Cartel, a notoriously violent group. But they don't want to kill him, at least not yet. They want him to work for them. They've dragged him to a secret compound and given him an ultimatum. Upgrade Compound 19. Make it faster, safer, and even harder to trace for their criminal empire, or they will kill him. Simple as that. But inside this prison, a new, totally unexpected player enters the story. She might be his only hope, or she could just be another deadly complication in a game he's already losing. Her name is Farah. She is a brilliant hacker who has already infiltrated the cartel's network, but she is not one of them. No, she's on a mission of pure revenge. Her brother was killed in a terrorist attack that was funded using Ayo's app. So she and Ayo form this really tense, incredibly risky alliance to try and bring the whole thing down from the inside. So, let's recap. We've got a coder and a hacker trapped by a cartel. You'd think that's complicated enough, right? Well, hold on, because a major global power decides to get involved, and they somehow manage to turn a total disaster into a full-blown catastrophe. So, a Western intelligence agency discovers Compound 19, but instead of trying to shut it down, they see an opportunity.
Their plan is incredibly audacious. They decide to secretly plant a Trojan horse inside the code. This would let them track every illegal transaction, basically giving them a secret backdoor to control and monitor the entire global criminal underworld.
What could possibly go wrong, right? Well, everything. Their attempt at secret control doesn't just fail, it backfires in the most catastrophic way you can possibly imagine. The agency's tampering makes the app even more powerful, but also dangerously unstable. This kicks off these massive turf wars between rival criminal gangs, all fighting for control of this new superweapon. The violence that erupts causes a global panic. And of course, the agency that started it all, they publicly deny any and all involvement, leaving the entire world to burn. And all this chaos, brings everything right back to the man who started it all. Trapped in a bunker, with the world outside just descending into madness, Ayo is faced with the final, impossible choice. He is left with an absolutely impossible choice. On one hand, he can do what the cartel wants, improve the app, hand even more power to criminals, but guarantee his own survival. Or he can try to destroy his creation once and for all, an act that would almost certainly get him killed. And that, right there, is the ultimate question the story leaves us with. The man who built the code is now trapped by it, he's hunted because of it, and he's faced with this impossible moral choice. Is he the only one who can possibly undo the damage he's caused? And what will it cost him to even try?